Welcome back, fellow fans of Ghost. Today I'm going to be talking or just going over my love for music. Now, my love for rock music, or my love for music in general, started when I was very, very young, but my love for heavy metal started when I was about maybe 13. 13 years old, yeah. A 13-year-old listening to heavy metal. Now, back when I was actually 13 years old, 13 years ago, that might have seemed maybe a little bit... Actually, it's probably over 13 years ago. I don't know. When did CD players go out? Because it was a few years before that I started listening to music. I'll have to see if I can dig out my old Walkman and maybe do a video about it and throw it up on this channel. Or, something. But, as a lot of people know, this channel is centered around my love for Ghost. And I have done several videos on Ghost already on this channel. But, if anybody's wondering how I got my love for Ghost, this is kind of a very way back, kind of, I guess, unnecessary origin story for how I got my love of heavy metal music and where I got my love for Ghost. I actually heard about Ghost back in maybe 2008, 2009, back when they released Opus Eponymous, which I have on CD. I could only find it on CD. I couldn't find it on cassette, or not cassette, I couldn't find it on vinyl. Wouldn't it be cool if they made, if artists started re-releasing their albums on cassette tapes? That'd be cool if they did that. So, I heard about Ghost when they had, around the time that they had released Opus Eponymous, but I had never really gotten into them. I had never really, I guess I didn't really like the music at the time. Again, I was very young. That was almost a decade ago. So I would have been around 13 or 14 years old. So I didn't really enjoy the music that much, or as much as I did now. I kind of just skimmed over it. But maybe a year ago or so at this point, I listened to some of their work on Meliora, and that's when I just absolutely fell in love with Ghost. And the bands that kind of sparked that love of Ghost, or kind of got me into the whole, loving heavy metal music, were bands such as Linkin Park. I listened to the shit out of Linkin Park as a kid. System of a Down, I also listened to the shit out of Steal This Album from Linkin Park, and also a few other albums by them. I loved the shit out of System of a Down. I heard that they were coming out with a new album, I think either later this year or sometime in 2018, which I am super excited for. Can't wait for that to happen. And I also used to listen to, get this, I used to listen to Black Eyed Peas back when they were still popular, or back way before they had split up. So those were the three bands that I listened to the most as a kid, because I didn't have a very large discography of, music. I didn't have a really large collection of music that I could call my own. So I had to either borrow CDs from my sister or just kind of deal with what I had, because we didn't go to the record store very often to buy CDs. So I couldn't buy CDs. I didn't have money. I was only, 12 or 13 at the time. I didn't have a job. I didn't have money. what am I going to do? Beg my parents to buy me a CD for a band that they probably don't like or probably don't want me to listen to? No, I mean, you know, your parents are kind of big on that kind of stuff, I think. And, you know, especially when you're growing up, until you hit a certain age anyways, they kind of want you to not listen to songs that worship the devil or Satan, I guess. But so I would borrow CDs from my sister. Like I think one of the ones I listened to and ripped onto my iPod when I first got it. I didn't have one of the first generation iPods, like the very first iPod, but I had like, I think the fourth generation Nano I got as a present. So I would rip all of my music onto that, and I had one of the albums I borrowed from my sister was, I think, CKY, or at least the Viva La Bam's soundtrack with all the music that he used in his show was on that album. So that was pretty cool, and that's where I fell in love with him. I don't really listen to them that much anymore, but I kind of think they shaped my love for music. And then, like I mentioned a year or two ago, I got into Ghost, and I've just absolutely loved Ghost ever since. And I really don't know what I would do if I hadn't started listening to Ghost. I'd probably still be listening to like 21 Pilots or something like that. Not that 21 Pilots are bad. It's just I wouldn't have this love and obsession for a band that, you know, for a random group of 6 people that hide their identities behind masks and makeup. I wouldn't appreciate it as much. I don't think, had I not listened to those other bands growing up. So that's kind of a brief history of my love for music. I apologize if that came off sounding a little bit narcissistic, but, you know, I do apologize. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, no matter how long it is. If you stayed till the end and you want to let me know that you stayed to the end, you can comment Beelzebub or some other term for Satan. So until the next time we meet again, hail Satan.